The whales showed great interest in animals, from them sharing interesting facts about animals to acting as sharks or lions chasing each other on the playground. This interest led me to the topic of animals, no specific category, but the entire animal kingdom. My first activity was animal charades. The children at first were overwhelmed by my array of options in my Ziploc bag, and the concept of taking turns took a couple of rounds to catch on. The activity began to prosper when the children were acting out the animals and making sounds that related to them. The required application of prior knowledge of the natural world was applied in order for them to correctly act out the animals, as well as the concept of symbolic and socio-dramatic experience was applied through acting. The children enjoyed guessing just as much as acting out. Sadie displays her excitement, showing her friends that they are correct. She was indeed acting out a cow. With the children's excitement in the different characteristics for each animal, I decided my next activity would highlight a specific characteristic: size. For my second activity, the children sorted the animals from big to small. In order to sort all the animals in order of size, I had the children take turns one at a time. This applied responsible conduct as a group member. With significant improvement in my ability to give concise directions at the start of this activity, this concept applied better than my first activity. This time, the children not only raised their hands for a turn, but remained seated until their turn. The goal of inquiry through observation and investigation was met significantly when an animal was placed in the incorrect sequence. For example, Noah placed the monkey smaller than the bee. Although he verbally said it was bigger than the dog, with suggestions from his friends and myself offering a clarifying question and visual gesture, Noah placed the monkey correctly on the left side of the dog. Inspiration for my next activity from the children's recommendation to incorporate an aspect of acting out like my first activity. For my third activity, I put a spin on red light, green light by adding animals to correspond with each light: a hibernating bear for red and a cheetah for green. Red light, green light applied cause and effect. With each verbal and visual cue of red or green light, the children responded. I even got a few giggles from Soon, Lexi, and Jojo as they awaited apprehensively for the next cue. As well, this activity applied self-control of feelings and behavior. To challenge the children, I started around with red light. Although a little tricky, they quickly picked up on it and remained at the starting point. For the last round, Lexi asked if she could be the green light. After all, Lexi was the start of my inspiration for my last activity, when she noted that if the bear on my red stoplight was hibernating, he had to be in a cave opposed to in the picture he was outside by a tree. The attention she showed to the habitats of the bear led me to my last activity. My last activity, I had two habitats, the land and the ocean. I printed out various animals and had them one at a time pick an animal and place them in their natural habitat. The children applied yet again the concept of inquiry through observation and investigation. For instance, Amadeus observed that he picked a butterfly, then furthered the observation by deciding whether the butterfly belonged in the ocean or the land. Land or ocean? Land. What'd you get? Mine done now. Mine done. Mine done. Mine done. Jackson. As well, through this activity, knowledge of the natural world was applied, specifically as shown through the placement of the lion. Amadeus placed the lion in the ocean, and Sadie responded, "A sea lion is in the ocean," and then soon correctly placed the lion on the land. Sea lions in the ocean. In reflection, I realized that I had trouble maintaining control over the children. I was not sure how to walk the thin line between being a leader as well as letting them be the main participants in the activity. I was overthinking and losing the true direction I planned to take my activity. However, by the second activity, I began to realize the critical importance in the first couple minutes of my activities, giving directions and setting the tone and foundation to where the activity is going. By my final activity, I felt comfortable with the children, and my ability to control the direction of the activity was still staying true to where their interests lie. I know I have a far way to go to where I want to be, but the progress I felt just within these 4 activities is something I know I can keep getting better at in the years to come. From this experience, I learned that teaching is much more than just having a passion for children. I have learned firsthand that teaching is not a set curriculum, it's something that flourishes in the moment with each child individually. My experience of fostering relationships and seeing children learn in the short amount of time I got with them reassures me that I've chosen the correct career path. Even on a bad day when I wasn't feeling my best, within the first 5 minutes with the whales, I forgot all about my problems. This internship with the whales solidified the vast effect that teachers can have on children, and this reality is something I know full heartedly I want to be a part of.